One of the most powerful examples for me can be seen in how Generation Web is re-engaging with politics.
What is required of us now is a new era of responsibility, a recognition on the part of every American that we have duties to ourselves, our nation, and the world.
I made the decision in February of 2007, pretty early on, to take a leave from Facebook and go and work full-time for the Obama campaign. The campaign from the start was really interested in running a bottoms-up grassroots initiative, which happened to intersect directly with everything that was happening online in 2006, 2007, 2008.
Barack Obama! The young users of YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter became central to the campaign.
We had members of Congress on Twitter. We had protesters organizing through Twitter outside. We had the president on Twitter using it to campaign. And we had everyone in the country, well, not everyone, but a lot of folks across the country using Twitter to express their opinions on the hot topics. So we sort of had, like, the entire spectrum.
During the election year, Obama had 3 million Facebook friends. And studies show a third of all under 30-year-olds used social networking to communicate their politics. That figure was negligible 4 years earlier. 2/3 watched political videos online, a quarter forwarded them on, or remixed the material.
'Cause I got a crush on Obama, I wait till 2008. Baby, you're the best candidate.
What we were able to do was figure out how people could do it their way, and that there was a really just a groundswell of energy and enthusiasm, both in terms of fundraising, but also in terms of time spent volunteering for the campaign.
America, we have come so far. We have seen so much, but there's so much more to do.
Election night in Chicago was something I think anybody who was there will have to say will never happen again.
It was indescribable. I mean, it was a really important moment for the country above everything else. We were all just so emboldened by the fact that not only had we done it, but we'd done it differently. And that made everything all the more powerful.
The technology of the web, with its feedback loops and associative connections, appears to have attracted young people to politics on a scale that hasn't been seen for generations. All around the world, as we've seen, young people, for better or worse, are harnessing the power of the web to fight their causes. From the uprising in Iran to the young Russian hackers who claim to have launched cyber war against Estonia. They recognize the power of the web to connect and collaborate. For many, this is a very positive development. Web guru Stephen Johnson believes ultimately collaboration, a kind of pooling of intelligence allowed by the web, has always been a key driver of human progress.
One of the things about ideas that's so interesting is we have this myth that they come to people in a kind of eureka moment where somebody's sitting in their study and suddenly they think, aha, I understand gravity, or I understand how to build a nuclear reactor. But in fact, what tends to happen much more than we realize is that ideas are much more collaborative. If you look at the history of invention, what you find is that inventions are dramatically disproportionately centered in urban areas. One of the great things about cities is they're filled with these public spaces like a coffee shop where people come together who might have some shared interests but come from different backgrounds. They work for different companies, or they are artists meeting writers or filmmakers. And in that kind of point of convergence, they sit around and they talk and they share ideas, and it becomes a kind of connected space. So the web is, in some sense, this kind of virtual version of what cities have historically done. You have people connected in a way that was never possible before, and part of it is this basic kind of principle built into the architecture of the web. The web is, at its core, a platform for linking things.
When you look at a city, with its teeming masses of people, each of whom have their own dreams, desires, and expectations. It shouldn't work, but it does. So could it be that the essence of what makes a city truly great, the gossip, the connections, the serendipity, could also work on the web?
I believe that at best, the web can be like an exciting, innovative metropolis that eventually could benefit the younger generations. Earlier, we saw that some people view South Korea, the most wired nation on Earth, as a nightmarish vision of web addiction. But along with the downsides come hidden benefits. As young South Koreans grow up in their supercharged digital world, they regularly top the world's education league tables.
그냥 지금 토요일날 다 나와. 그러니까 우리가 지금 궁금한 거는 뭐야? 뭐를 낳는? 새끼를 낳는?
I'm meeting the president of the Korean National Information Society Agency, who claims that Korean children's advanced achievement is not due only to a great education system, but because from an early age they interact and work together on the web.
Korea is now leading country in terms of mathematics and science and other areas. I think it is influenced by this kind of environment of the high penetration of internet.
This generation is growing up with the web. It's growing up with it as part of their education system. What hopes and what expectations do you have for the world when they grow up?
They will be more intelligent compared with us. So
I look forward to that.
It is more, because they now recognize the importance of communication and helping each other for solving some problem. Collective intelligence is now basic to their instinct. I hope it is helpful for some evolution of mankind in the world.
Every kid starts with the